Guys, thanks for the waiting. This is part 8 of What If Naruto Was Kamen Writer Faiz. So let's start. Chapter 19. The next remaining days passed quickly. Minato had sealed Sasuke's cursed mark and checked his son for any seals present, and found none. Inside Naruto these few days, the object in the middle of the two mountains had rose to form a small hill, showing a small, arc-like shape at the bottom and was still rising, releasing red energy as the two energies from the Faiz and Orphanok mountains sent out their own energy. Kushina had also gotten to know Kin when she was sent back to the compound. The two loyal Sannin and Naruto's parents also noticed the blush Kin got whenever Naruto was mentioned. When they discussed this, Jiraiya grumbled something about damn brats getting all the cute girls, resulting in laughter from everyone present. Now, the Genin were gathered in the arena at the top of the tower. Minato was smiling at the Genin/Chunin hopefuls. Truth to be told, he was just proud that his children had made it this far in the exams. The first time he did it, also in Konoha, same test, he failed to get past the forest with his team, but luckily survived. Granted, he nor anyone in his team were a ranked shinobi. But his children had fought against Orochimaru, Orochi fucking Maru of all people, and survived. Minato snapped out of his musings and said, "I must congratulate all of you to be able to get so far in the tower, especially with so many of you here. Now, before we go further, I must inform you that you are now representing your own villages. The villages can never truly be at peace, so to speak, that's why the Chunin exams are formed. True, it's to promote the Genin to Chunin, but that could have been done separately in your respective villages. The second reason for the exams is to avoid war." Minato paused as to give a dramatic effect and continued, "As you should know, or not, the village income rely on missions from inside and outside of a village. So, by having the exams, your villages can show your strength and attract more mission requests. Should you win, you get what I'm saying here?" He got nods in response and continued, "And as such, since there are too many of you here, we'll be having a preliminary test, a one-on-one all-out match. Death is fine but not encouraged, so Anko, if you would?" Anko nodded as she motioned to the walls. She said, as a screen popped out, "The screen here will show your names, well, the ones who'll fight in a match. If there are anyone who wishes to quit, please raise your hand as you aren't allowed to quit after we enter your names into the board." Kabuto and one of his teammates quit and walked away. Anko nodded, "Okay, now there are odd numbers. Hey here she'll tell you the rest of the rules and is the proctor for this test." A sick-looking man with a sword walked forward and said, like Anko-san said, "I'm the next proctor for this test. As such, you'll follow my orders when you take the test. Plus there will be a three-way match for the first." Any more questions? There were none as Hey-8 continued, "Good, now the names will be displayed." The screen started to roll through names and ended with three names, Uzumaki Namake's Naruto vs Inuzuka Kiba vs Uchiha Sasuke. Hey nodded as he said, "There you go, the first battle. Those who don't have their names displayed please go up to the stands with your sensei while Hokage-sama, Tsunade-sama, Jiraiya-sama, and Sandim-sama go up to the glass stand. I'm changing the place a bit, so just imagine a glass stand above the statue, right beside the screen." Everyone complied, leaving the three boys. Kiba was still determined to defeat Naruto and claim his sister as his mate. Sasuke wanted to prove that he was stronger than Naruto and get Haruna as his wife. And finally Naruto, he was just standing there picking his ear, causing sweat drops from almost everyone as Naruto stood there, completely underestimating his opponents. Hey-8 said, "So, are you three ready?" Kiba and Sasuke replied heatedly, "Yes/I'm ready." Hey-8 looked at Naruto who was looking at the statue. Hey-8 coughed as Naruto focused back to the arena and said, Sure." Hey-8 resisted the urge to facepalm along with most of those who knew Naruto. They all knew Naruto was not taking them seriously since he hadn't been beat by them since the academy days. Hey-8 nodded and said, "So, Uzumaki Namake's Naruto vs Inuzuka Kiba vs Uchiha Sasuke, Hajime." The two weaker boys immediately tag-teamed Naruto, charging him with jutsu. Kiba and Sasuke yelled, "Getsuga/Katan, Ryuka and Ojutsu." The jutsu combined to form a living flaming drill of death, well, to normal people anyway, and Naruto was definitely not normal. He looked at the flaming/spinning Kiba and merely threw a normal kunai to the wall and Kawarimi with the kunai, causing Kiba to just grind himself into the ground. Naruto then whipped out his phone and dialed the codes. Standing by. The phone announced, complete. Naruto transformed into Faiz and took out the Faiz edge with the mission memory in it. Sasuke did a set of hand signs and yelled, Katun, Gokakyu and Ojutsu. The ball of flame shot at Naruto at high speed. Naruto sighed and pressed enter on his phone, exceed charge. He swung the blade as a beam of pure energy ran across the ground, obliterating the ball of flame and encasing the Uchiha in an anti-gravity field. Not unlike Minato's case, Sasuke couldn't escape by any means, Kawarimi and just about anything failed. Naruto was about to knock the Uchiha out but was stopped when Kiba shouted, Getsuga! And Dog Boy to the rescue, the drill-like attack charging at Naruto who leaped away, leaving Sasuke in the line of fire. Unfortunately, the technique had no means of using eyesight and relied on smell and hearing, so Kiba slammed into Sasuke, knocking out the arrogant boy. Kiba stopped his jutsu and noticed Sasuke out on the ground. He cursed, oh shit. Naruto smirked, shit indeed, for you. He slid the mission memory from the XL watch to his phone, complete. Naruto went into XL form and blurred around, knocking Kiba all around the ring. The audience winced every once in a while when Kiba was sent flying. After 3 minutes, Kiba blacked out and fell to the ground. Heiei sighed and said, Seicho Usacha, Uzumaki Namake's Naruto. Naruto jumped up to the ring and was greeted by his girlfriends. Hikari said cheerfully, nice fight, Onie-chan. Yuki and Suki sighed, wasn't much of a fight, it was just like the academy. Sasuke Baka never learns. The Uchiha sisters were slightly disappointed and shamed that their brother still had that Uchiha arrogance that had got many Uchiha killed, but still present. Kushina smiled at her eldest and Makoto said, well, congratulations on beating the two of them once again. We're relieved Sasuke didn't force the usage of the cursed mark though, have to tell Tsum about Kiba's training and tell Fugaku about Sasuke's training. Naruto nodded as the training part didn't really concern him, but he shouldn't offend his future mother-in-law if he wanted to be with Yuki and Suki, plus the girls still loved their brother, even if he was a dick sometimes. The screen rolled through names again and stopped at 2, showing Haruno Sakura versus Uzumaki Namake's Haruna. Some of the rookies winced as they knew what was to come, a one-sided match, again. Heiei said, would the mentioned people please come down? Haruna and Sakura complied. Haruna showed the same expression as Naruto did during his match, while Sakura was determined. Heiei said in a monotone voice, are both of you ready? Haruna said without much enthusiasm, yeah. While Sakura said with fire, yes. Heiei nodded, Uzumaki Namake's Haruna versus Haruna Sakura, sorry about that, Hajime. Most snickered at they heard the slip from Heiei. Sakura ignored the jab and rushed at Haruna. The redhead Kawarimi with a log, who knows where that came from, and appeared at the other end of the ring. The girl bent down as multiple chains came out of her back, slamming into the pinkette, instantly knocking the banshee out. Heiei checked the girl for any signs of consciousness and said, Asicho Usacha, Uzumaki Namake's Haruna. Everyone sweat dropped at one of the shortest battles in shinobi history, if you counted Sakura as a shinobi. The screen then continued to roll through names, ending at Uzumaki Namake's Hikari versus Yamanaka Ino. Those from Konoha groaned, another fangirl/kunoichi wannabe fighting a real kunoichi, which sums up, another one-sided and most possibly anticlimactic fight. The two blondes jumped down and stared at each other. Heiei said, you two ready? They nodded as Heiei continued, Uzumaki Namake's Hikari versus Yamanaka Ino, Hajime. The Yamanaka instantly jumped away as Hikari threw kunai at the other blonde, which unknown to anyone except Naruto, were actually kunai with the Jutsu Shiki for the Hiraishin. Ino dodged them with ease since they weren't actually aimed for her. Soon, Hikari was flailing around punching and kicking the Yamanaka as she flew around in a pinball-like manner, which was like how Kiba did during his match. Everyone sighed as the Uzumaki Namake siblings have gotten easy matches. The next match came up, Kurama Yakumo vs Sai. The girl was about to jump down when Sai said, I forfeit. Everyone looked at him and he said, what, Yakumo-san has genjutsu paintings, mine cannot match up and releasing genjutsu is my weak point. Right, Sai just doesn't want to fight. Everyone nodded and turned to the screen once more, rolling and ended at Uchiha Yuki vs Akato Yoroi. The two jumped down and faced each other. Hey-8 said, "You two ready?" He got nods in response and said, "Uchiha Yuki vs Akato Yoroi, Hajime." The girl instantly rushed forward, forming hand signs as she did. Yoroi also did the same, causing his hands to have a blue glow. Yuki yelled, "Katen, Karawenden." A torrent of flames came out of her mouth, surprising Yoroi as he jumped away from the flames. Yuki smirked and did more hand signs, Futen, Kaze and Oyabe. The wind blades flew at Yoroi as Yuki did one more jutsu, Ketun, Goenka. Multiple fireballs shot out and the wind blades turned into waves of fire. Yoroi's eyes widened as he was hit with the waves of flames, incinerated. Yuki's eyes widened at what she had done and started sulking as soon as Hey-8 announced her the winner. Makoto looked at Naruto as he nodded, going to the girl and hugged her as the girl cried silently, getting looks of sympathy as some of the genin knew what it was like to have their first kill. The next set of names then appeared, Hyuga Hinata vs Hyuga Niji. Chapter 20. Hinata and Niji stood at the opposite of each other. Hey-8 said, "Okay, you two ready?" They nodded as Hey-8 announced, "Hajime." Niji smiled as he said, "Never thought I'd be facing you in the exams, Hinata-sama." Hinata smiled back, "Indeed, Niji and I-san." Niji nodded, "But fate has declared me the winner of the match." Up at the stands, Naruto facepalmed, "Niji's fucked." Tenten was confused, "Why?" Naruto looked at the two cousins as the temperature dropped severely. Well, Niji's father also had the same belief that fate is set for everyone, but it was beaten out by Hinata-chan's father. Niji also has the same problem and Hinata once made Niji swear to not say the fate and destiny crap. Just watch on, it'll be interesting, well, for us anyway. Tenten nodded and looked back at the two Hyuga. Hinata's long hair shaded her eyes and said calmly, "Niji and I-san, what did I say about the fate and destiny stuff?" Niji gulped as he answered fearfully, not to do it?" Hinata looked up and showed a maniac smile, which was incredibly scary on her innocent face, "Exactly." Naruto laughed as Hinata chased Niji all around the ring with Niji shouting sorry a lot of times and Hinata yelling at him to take his punishment like a man. As for the other viewers, they just sweat-dropped. Soon, Niji stopped running and faced his cousin. "Enough games, Hinata-sama, we shall truly begin our match." He slid into his Juken stance as Hinata continued charging. Both engaged in a Juken death dance as they evaded each other's strikes and countered with their own. They then slid into a wider stance, both said, "Hakurakajuyan Sho." The barrage of Juken strikes from the two cousins started as they nullified all of the strikes. Niji jumped back and said, "I've studied the ways of Juho and I have a version of my own of it, let us put it to the test now, shall we?" Hinata smiled and slid into the Juho. If anyone is wondering, the style Hinata's mother created is Juho. Stance. Niji went into a similar stance but looked more like the Goken and the Juken combined. Both Hyuga charged as they moved in the same serene movements, which was shocking for Niji since his stance was stiff and hard, unlike the Juho, yet he could move like that. Soon, the cousins parted once more, gathering chakra in their hands, forming shrouds of chakra in their hands. Minato, Kushina, Kakashi and Makoto's eyes widened as they looked like Hitomi's Juho technique, only rougher without a shape. They charged and palms clashed. Finally, Niji proved to be superior and knocked Hinata out. Hey checked Hinata and said, "Shousha, Hyuga Niji." Niji went up as Hinata was sent to the infirmary to check for any injuries and was congratulated by Guy, Lee and Tenten while Naruto gave him a respectful nod. The next set of names then came up, showing Uchiha Suki vs Karui. The two girls jumped down and stared at each other. Hey-8 asked, "Ready?" The girls nodded. Hey-8 then said, "Good, Uchiha Suki vs Karui, Hajime." The two girls immediately charged. Karui drew her sword as Suki did hand signs, Katan, Ryuden and Ojutsu. The fire dragon aimed at Karui as she dodged, creating an inferno on the arena. Karui did single-handed signs and said, "Raitan, Jabashi." The lightning attack raced at Suki, who did her own hand signs and said, "Doton, Doriahiki." The wall of earth/mud rose and nullified the thunder attack. Suki then did a new set of hand signs, Suten, Surya Neno Jutsu. The water dragon raced at the Kumonin, who made another set of hand signs, Raiten, Rariab Neno Jutsu. Normally a lightning attack would do well for a water attack, but Suki placed more chakra into the jutsu, and ended up overpowering the lightning jutsu, charging the water dragon with lightning, hitting the black skin girl and electrocuting her, effectively knocking her out. Everyone was impressed by the impressive display of jutsu. Height said, Shousha, Uchiha Suki. This was followed by a series of clapping from everyone, well, save a few. She was greeted by a kiss from Naruto and congratulations from her friends, and harem. Next match then began. Lee, Gaara, Temari, and Tenten's matches went on as canon. Kankuro fought C and won the same way as canon. Samui won against Chuji like how Dosu did, but with lightning jutsu instead. Now, it was B versus Shino. B was using his swords, while only 2 slashing at Shino, who was proving a strong adversary as he dodged every blow and used his Kakechu bugs to slowly drain B's chakra, which proved futile and settled to using the chakra received for stronger jutsu. B then started to use Bijou chakra. Naruto instantly pitted the Aburame, since a Jinchuriki using the Bijou's chakra was the worst adversary for any shinobi who relied on draining chakra, which the Aburame clan specializes in. Most of Shino's bugs dropped dead from the poisonous chakra. Shino, seeing his bugs die, raised his hands. I forfeit, my colony is almost gone, and I can't risk them dying. Height nodded and announced B the winner. The following match was Haku versus Omoi. Haku sped around the ring as soon as Height announced the match to begin. Haku didn't want to reveal her Kekkei Genkai so early and settled for Suetun Jutsu. She yelled, Suetun, Sensatsu Suisho. The water needles appeared from the atmosphere and aimed at Omoi. Omoi concentrated chakra into his blade, more specifically, Raitun chakra. As the needles approached, he swung his blade around, dissolving the needles. He then charged, Kumoryu, Maikazu Kijiri. He swung his blade in a wide arc and almost beheaded Haku had she not jumped away. He then created several solid clones, and they charged. Omoi jumped up and yelled, Kumoryu, Kasamajiri. He came down and aimed his sword at Haku. Haku saw the strike in Kawarimi with one of Omoi's clones, which was a Raitun clone, designed to electrocute the person who killed it. Unfortunately, Omoi had killed his clone and ended up being shot. Haku thought, I can't win like this, I'll have to use the Hayatan. She made a set of hand signs and said, Hayatan, Makyu Hyosho. A dome of ice mirrors appeared and surrounded Omoi as Haku stepped into her mirrors. Naruto laughed as Haku had done this to help him train on Kenjutsu once and he ended up being porcupined. He knew Haku was gonna do it again, but to Omoi won't heal the Kumonin like she did with Naruto. True enough, soon, Haku began throwing Senbon and Omoi became a porcupine. Most people were trying hard not to laugh since the lollipop in Omoi's mouth made the scene look worse. Omoi struggled to pull the Senbon out since it was limiting his movements. Haku took advantage of this and knocked him into a death-like state. Height sighed and said, Shousha, Momochi Haku. The next fight was between Shikamaru and Yujito. Shikamaru made a plan and would have won if Yujito didn't use her enormous amount of chakra to obliterate his Kageme no Jutsu and knock him out with a blue Katan Jutsu. Now, all of the winners were standing in front of Minato. He said, well, I congratulate all of you for making it this far. The finals will start next month on this same date. So, if you will please pick your numbers to determine who you'll fight. Everyone nodded as they picked their numbers and told Minato about it. Soon, a board with who fighting who and which match it was drawn. First match, Uzumaki Namake's Naruto vs Karabi. Second match, Uchiha Suki vs Sabaka Temari. Third match, Hyuga Niji vs Sabako Kankuro. Fourth match, Uzumaki Namake's Hikari vs Ni Yujito. Fifth match, Uchiha Yuki vs Momchi Haku, ironic, since it's Yuki vs Haku. Yuki Haku, get it? Sixth match, Uzumaki Namake's Haruna vs Sabaku Gaara. Minato continued, okay, I hope you will use the 1 month's time wisely to train as there will be high-ranking people from all around the world watching you. So good luck, and see you next month. Everyone nodded and went out of the tower into the village. Now, Hinata, the Uchiha sisters, Naruto and his sisters were at a sushi restaurant, the only male of the group of lovers scarfing down plates of sushi again. This was seen by Minato, Kushina, Makoto, Hitomi, Hayashi, Fugaku, Makoto Tsunade, and Jiraiya. Minato and Kushina, who were ramen addicts themselves and also knew of Naruto's addiction to the godlike noodles, were shocked when they saw their son eating other kind of food like that. The group of adults walked to their children as Kushina and Minato asked their son, Naruto, what happened? Why are you eating sushi like how you do with ramen? Naruto looked at his parents and said, thanks to the girls, I have found a new food of the gods, second to ramen, sushi. The two older ramen addicts looked at the girls, crying anime tears. What did you girls do to him? You took away one of the ramen cult's important members. The other adults sweat dropped at the sight. The couple had been babbling stuff about a ramen god cult since they were genin. Unknown to them, all around the nations, all the ramen addicts were saying a prayer. We feel one of our brethren has fallen to another kind of food, tainted while still a ramen fan, Namo Omichu Ofo. Back to the group, Hayashi, Fugaku, Hitomi and Makoto were praising their daughters. Well done, girls, you managed to do what we failed in doing for years, and I quote taint a ramen cult member with another kind of food. Though it may have something to do with the fact Naruto loves all of you. Jiraiya and Tsunade sweat dropped since it was kinda true. After Minato and Kushin had calmed down, the Hokage said, **I guess it cannot be helped, Hikari-chan and Haruna-chan have not qualified to be a ramen cult member and I doubt they ever will, thanks to Jiraiya-sensei and Tsunade. Anyway, I'm here to tell you that all of you, save Hinata, no offense, will be training with your parents. Well, Hikari will be trained by Jiraiya and Tsunade while I'm Naruto and Kushi-chan is training Haruna. As for Haku, with the Mizukage and my approval, you'll be trained by Zabuza and some guy named Chujiro. Everyone nodded before they started to have lunch. Well, in Naruto and his girlfriend's cases, continue lunch. To be continued.